I asked a lot of people in the room, and of course I made a few calls to see who would want to do the prayer today, because Merlin's out of town, Jeff is out sick today, and then of course, my third one is Lou Murray, and he's off today. So I asked, Mike also, and a few other community members, and then said, I'll do a great job. So I said, I'll do it today. So. Okay, Miigwech, reminder. Amish Kawagabo, Dish the Cause, McGizzy, Dudame, Kawabaga, Kanakagan, Dune Juba. First of all, I want to say Miigwech, and I pray for a good meeting today. I pray for a good weekend. I pray for a good life. I pray for the ones that are sick out there that need our help, and that we can deliver the services to them. I pray for all the animals. I pray for our water, our four-leggeds. And kind of when I go into this, it just reflects on, when I go into Sweat Lodge or do other prayers, I kind of keep it the same way. And, I just try to, pray for most things that comes to mind. The four directions, the stars, the moon, Jesus, our son, Mama, especially Mama Key, who takes care of us, and I pray for our elders that are in the room. I pray for, everyone here to be safe. And I always ask for, always be in your heart, always have, good feelings in there too. Us here as five individuals, I believe we're doing our best, and of course we don't agree on things, but at least we don't have that bad that bad feelings, I guess, and that's what I'm going to say. And I think it's important that you have a council that is like that dynamically, that we're all individuals, and that we what we're trying to accomplish is what's best for all of us, not just individuals or we're trying to be as fair and as committed as we can to our communities and our constituents. And I just feel like I think that we're still learning. That's one thing the elders always told me, that we learn till we move on to the next. But that's something I was always taught, and to always smile and make everyone feel good and try to And I just pray that we're all in a good way, and working hard for all of us. I think about all 17,000 of us. So Miigwech, mute. Okay, I call the meeting to order. It is 9:38 a.m. Michael, you want to do roll call?
District 1, here. District 2,
Here.
District 3.
Here.
And I'm here, Chairman.
We have a quorum, Miigwech, thank you. Next up is the review and approve the agenda. I know that we have a few additions here. I know we have one from Jacob MacArthur on ECCBD grant we have to add to. I know we have
I have two, Mr. Chairman.
yes.
I have two additions to the consent agenda: the White medicinal cannabis regulations, Shooting Star architectural plans, and White Finance would like to be part of the executive session for discussion purposes.
Anything else, Council? Hearing none, motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
You did add Scott's stuff up?
Yes.
Yeah, he has that in there.
You did that? Okay, all right. I'm good. Motion.
Motion by Mike, second by Eugene. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is review and approve the meeting minutes for 6:30 of 23.
Hold on. Pilot, huh? Yeah. What I did, Hold it.
Do you have a copy of those?
I see.
You know, from putting. Try to follow it.
Chairman,
Yeah,
just one grammar error. She misspelled pilot on the first page. It's only I really see. Henry pointed that out. So.
Okay.
Aisha, you marked that?
I got it.
You got it.
Motion.
Motion for the meeting minutes with changes for 6:30 of 23. Motion by Mike,
Second. Second.
second by Eugene. All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up are the reports, the officer reports and also our district reps. I'll lead off. I guess, this last quarter's been pretty busy for us, and not much traveling too far out of state, but a lot of traveling within the state. I guess the things I have wrote out to highlight, of course, last week I attended the Chippewa Federation and also MASS, Meadows Alliance of Sovereign Tribes, and that was held over in Menominee, Wisconsin, and of course it was beautiful over there, and it was a good meeting, informational. A lot of the other tribes in Wisconsin are being proactive, looking at things. Of course, myself going over there, but I look forward to networking and asking the other tribes on what they're doing and in all their areas where they're excelling at. And I guess one of the good things I brought back was meeting with some of the Michigan tribes, the Saginaw Chippewa tribe. They built their own substation for power, and I know that I passed on some information to Mindy yesterday because we did call over to them, and they do have a company, one of their economic development companies, McGizzy Incorporated. So I connected with them together as to help work with our tribal utility commission. So I think those are the things that when I go out on the road and I look, and of course I attend the meetings, but also network and find out what else how we can bring things and see how we can be innovative like everyone else is doing. So the next up, I have the TEC. We had a TEC meeting down our lights here this last quarter, and of course it was one day, and and I thought it was proactive, and of course sitting on the natural resources subcommittee and talking about our water and, you know, the mining that's going on across over, you know, north of Mille Lacs there about by Sandy Lake and, you know, being proactive and, you know, taking on these and you know, getting a lot of information from that, and also our TEC meeting I thought went well, and, you know, I just feel like that was kind of a good meeting, so. And also I wrote down is, of course, we're still continually working on the Tamarack Refuge, and, you know, we sent out some more emails this past week, and, you know, we sent them to Mike Martinez and also the Deputy Assistant Brian Newland, you know, on our, what we want back is the Tamarack Refuge, and, you know, I think that those meetings are continuing to move forward, so that's one thing I'm glad to report on that. Also, I wanted to bring up, you know, I know that this last quarter too, that we attended the Native Wash, the clinic, the naming, the honoring, you know, of our late council member, Kathy Goodwin, and, you know, being there and seeing it, you know, from a architect, from a picture to being there at that site was something just unbelievable, and how beautiful it was. You know, just the craftsmanship and you know, just the way it was designed, it was just a gorgeous building. So, you know, that's one thing that we as you know, the council, you know, we were all there, and it was just a really beautiful dedication. The last thing I want to say is White State Forest. You know, I've been talking to council you know, about this upcoming legislation. You know, for the last year plus now, we've been in talks with the Minnesota DNR about the White State Forest. Because I remember when I was first elected, and I remember talking to Governor Walz, and that was one of his priorities, was to give back the state forests within the reservation lands, that he was going to return those to the rightful owners. So this year we're actually going to create legislation to get back White State Forest. So I'm really happy with that, and, you know, I know there's things, you know, there's a lot of work with that coming up here this winter during legislation. So, but I'm pretty sure that we have a good chance, because I know that we've been working with Commissioner Strawman on some of those pictures, looking at the big picture of it, and so we'll be updating you more as we go along with that as the year goes by. So that's something I'm very excited to announce too. So, and the other one is the big announcement is, you know, our cannabis program. You know, we've been in this for a lot of years now, and I know not the previous council, but the council before, you know, they're the ones that initiated a lot of this, and I know that we're finally getting around that corner where we're going to open up our doors next week. So I'm really excited about that, and we're going to, you know, and the other part is the excitement is, you know, the thing is, like, I think about it as Muskiki, you know, as our medicine. So I pray for those plants too, and, you know, to help people in a good way. And I think that's the product that we're putting out there, is to help and assist, especially with ones that are having ailments and the ones that this medicine can actually help with. So something that we're going to do next week is open up our medical program. So I'm excited about that. So I want to say miigwech, and pass it over to our Secretary Treasurer.
Morning, bonjour. Morning, everybody. I just have a quick update. I gotta kind of jot through some notes. Of course, coming up is our next budget cycle for FY24. Working with Tracy and all the directors on getting their budgets in, getting them to where they need to be. So the events over probably the past 3 months, attending all the White Earth Weekly meetings, the Elder Weekly meetings, listening to the elders, addressing, their concerns. That's been pretty good. We did have to miss one meeting because of the opening of the Native Wash Clinic, which the chairman talked about. But I try to get all our meetings, because I think it's important that we listen to our elders. So the other thing is we've been working on our IHS. I was out in Michigan on our FY24 IHS pre-negotiation conference for our funds for the next, I guess, next 2 or 3 years, whatever it is. So I was out there for a while. Of course, TEC meetings. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that the last TEC meeting we did move forward with the secretary election on, it's 3215. So we're going to be looking at a secretary election maybe in the fall, and making sure we're ready to get there, and that we have the education, the advertisement, and everything out for this election. I believe it's for any Ojibwe, Anishinaabe blood within the United States that could be counted. So there was a very kind of a, I don't know what you would, there was a very challenging discussion at the TEC with, you know, and I always use the word fact and fiction, you know, what's fact and what's fiction when we talk about this, and the Constitution also. So, I mean, it was good. It was good conversation. It was good to hear that. And like the chairman says, we learn something new every day. We're learning I'm learning all the time. So, and I'd just like to, speaking of the TEC, I believe that there was one of our constitutional delegates from Leech Lake had passed away. And I don't know if his funeral's today or was yesterday, but it's Wally Starbuck. And, you know, that was a shock to a lot of people that he had passed away. He was a big advocate at all the TEC meetings, and he was for Leech Lake and for the Constitution and all those things. So, you know, our condolences go out to his family on that loss there. So, just going down my list here, IHS 105 lease program, we're working on that, working with Pat Butler and Tracy on that, but where we can it's kind of negotiate that 105 lease program for all our IHS and our buildings that are, I think we have 4 or 5 up here on Waiters that we negotiate the 105 lease program for the maintenance and some of the stuff on the building. So, of course, the treaty day follow that was pretty good. That was, you know, we're getting back to where we were before. You know, I actually believe there was over 1,000 dancers there. I know they had 970 registered or whatever, but I know there's a lot of them don't register. But it was a great day. We had good weather. It was really good, really good. Wisdom Steps Conference. We opened for I believe it was me and Eugene, and I believe Annie was there too, and Henry. I think you were there too. We all, and Chairman was there also. So we opened up for the Wisdom Steps Conference. They hosted it here at Shooting Star Casino this year, and you know, just thanks to Tito and all the people that work hard at that, getting that information out, and basically with the Wisdom Steps program. So Urban Council Picnic, we were there. It wasn't probably wasn't as big as it was in the past years, but it's kind of a work in progress too, because we have our Urban Council that was kind of in limbo for a while, and so, but they're trying to get back on track again. So that was a good weekend. We have some tribal state relations training coming up in August here at the casino, hosted by the casino. So Mariotto, I believe, from the state is hosting that. So, and if anybody doesn't really know about the tribal state relations training, I believe it's educating the state officials on tribal things, and it's getting them a better understanding of what they're working with the tribes, and that's why it's so important with this tribal state relations training. And I know we're going to get there. We have some commissioners that are just not following in suit with us, and not really doing what the governor's even saying. So we just have to have these trainings to make sure that we're all on the same page. Let's see. Already mentioned the NATO Ash Clinic groundbreaking. That was a good day for the Goodwin family. You know, and I know they displayed some artwork inside, and it was beautiful. RBC employee picnic, there was a good turnout there. And I think I mentioned all the graduations from to the end of the school years and all that, and hard to believe that we're in August, that we're going to be in August already. So I mean, we're just celebrating our graduates, and all of a sudden they all going to go back to school here in another month. So Yeah, and we finally got a little bit of nice weather. Of course, state of the band, that went very well. We had quite a few people there. That was good. And that's about it, other than working on budgets and working with the divisions. We had a managers, directors meeting yesterday that we sat, or they had some training for them on budgeting and legislative priorities. So that went really well. Me and Annie did the opening on that, and when we come back through, it sounded like they had a lot of fun. They had some other stuff that they were doing, and they made it kind of eventful for them for a good day. So, and then training and doing a little bit of other things that makes it enjoyable. So, but that's about it. I can think of anything else. I'll grab the mic again and thanks everybody for being here today, and hopefully have a good weekend. We got the Sturgeon Moon Powwow coming up this weekend. Sounds like we're gonna have a good turnout there. So, thanks everybody. District 1.
Bonjour, Kagegamiwan, Indigenous Ka, Makwanudim, Gashi Kajuegamak, Henry Fox, District 1 Rep. Just with some little updates here with the Rice Lake area there, Bonjour, Pine Bend, Ebro, Bolio. The phone never rests, whether it be the work phone, office phone, or even my personal phone. So I'm always going to answer you back. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer, but I'm always answering my phone. So kind of a little bit of things going on over our village over there, I guess, is, the childcare playground and basketball courts, we're going to get over there. I'm going to take away some of Rita's shine here. They do sand volleyball. We've been working on this week. So I just can't wait, to spike it on somebody. So we also got, quite a few little things going on over there with horseshoe pits. We got picnic tables and stuff that we still got to get up. But I won't take all Rita's away, so I'll let her talk about that. Elder home repair, really, really trying to get this up and going, but because of pricing on everything now, that money don't go very far, but it's going to help you in your house. It's either going to get you some good windows and some doors and stuff, or a roof or whatever, but that money goes pretty fast. So some of the other things, like Mike said, been going to quite a few meetings. I know this month is really busy for me because I'm also on the Scourging Board of Directors over there. That's kind of where, my background comes from. That's actually where I went to treatment 24 years ago. And I was very honored to be on there with a lot of them guys throughout all the reservations, that I know are also in recovery themselves. So I think on the 4th, that's when I head down there. We got tribal relations, like Mike talked about. We did a lot of that with Rule 31 when I worked in the chemical dependency. And unfortunately, we're teaching them of who we are, and what we do here as Native people. And it's pretty sad, that we have to do that with, some of our commissioners and everything, but I always tell them, you guys don't even have a clue, where we got to teach them. Kind of like our people heading into prison, and this wonderful beadwork that they do in there. It's kind of sad that they had to go there to learn how to do it, but that that's time consuming. And that's kind of what I do when I go home late in the evening or something. I'll sit there and I'll beat because it takes a lot off me. And I guess I'm not the best beater around, you know, I'm beating hats right now, and dude shoes, I'm beating dude shoes, so.
The dude.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I do, you know, like I tell people, we had a sobriety feast there Wednesday night over there in Rice Lake, and I was one of the guest speakers along with one of the younger guys that spoke over there, and took me 2 days to get through my thing. They camped there. No. But it was a very, very good thing, you know. We had quite a few people there. We had a feast, the cultural division, and they took good care of us. We also had some plants that were donated from a Circle store down there, Linda Knudsen, and I said, I'm not touching another plant again this year. I don't know if there's any left back there. I'll have to check today, but there's some pretty nice plants, so household plants and some that come back. I don't know what you call them. Put them in the ground and they come back, so. But yeah, with, you know, Rice Lake has been pretty busy, you know, and we get all the call, you know, when it comes to like our drug overdoses and everything, and that's kind of where it hits me, you know, where that's my background and stuff, so I either like, you know, because in my line of work right now, I'm still doing, you know, my chemical dependency background in a different capacity, you know. I'm guiding them to where they gotta go, what they gotta do. And back when, you know, I was early in recovery, I used the old Nike saying, you know, just do it. And that's the way it's been for me. You know? I can go every day without waking up with a hangover, without, you know, every day is a struggle, even today. But you just gotta know them tools, you know, and for me, I can't do it.
Keep it under 3 minutes.
So I guess I'm not gonna take all of Rita's shine because Rice Lake's here to make their update too, and I connect with a lot of people, you know, throughout the District 1 area over there, and I talk to them, and I try to find the best way I can help them. And it's all they gotta do is call. I hope we would.
Like
Two.
10 bands go.
He got his own mic.
Hello, this is Eugene Summers, District 2 representative. I'm just going to go through my notes here through April on to June. So in April, the Shooting Star Casino hosted the Knee Benoit Symposium. That was a good one held by the Knee Center. I know I attended that one. We were making some knockers and push pulls and stuff. It was a pretty good time.
Speak up.
The Nadewash E&P also hosted that month's Council of Elders meeting. And I know the RBC met with two departments. So it was the Department of Transportation. We're talking about building planning for the overpass in Minoman. And then we also met with the Department of Interior regarding returning the Tamarack National Refuge there. In May, we completed our legislative session. We were granted concurrent law enforcement jurisdiction. We also granted a tribal impact aid. And then our tribal college also was granted $1 million annual funding for the next 4 years. Our tribal utility commission had a meeting with Houston Engineering regarding developing a master infrastructure plan and talking about possible EPA funding. The Whiter Child Care also received a 5.5% wage increase. And then a couple other things that I had written down. The RBC visited the cannabis facility in Red Lake. We also attended the Indian End Banquet here at the casino. Let me see, Minnesota Indian Affairs Council, we attended that, and that was at the Shooting Star. We also attended the Indigenous Parent Leadership Initiative, which is a really good program developed by White Earth Rural Barn Favor.
Polaris.
We also met with Monona County Commissioners. They had their recent election, and a lot of tribal members were granted those seats. And then we also attended some bill signings over at the Capitol, and then White Earth Mental Health also hosted a conference there in May. And then for June, the RBC met with EPA regarding amendments and creation of new policy to ensure that the federal government fulfills their trust responsibilities. We also met with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service discussing co-management agreements. And we also met with Minnesota Secretary of State to discuss voting and registration, polling locations on the reservation. And then we had our Nato-Wash Clinic opening. We had the community tour, and then the clinic opened on July 17th to the public. We also had our elder picnic at Rediscovery, and that was a really good time. And the NEB Center also hosted another conference here at the casino, and it was the Anishinaabe Law Conference, and that was a really good conference. And I know a lot of the folks there were really they really appreciated White Earth's code regarding natural resources. And then, you know, we've been attending all the community picnics. I know we had one in Nato-Wash last night, and I think it rained for the first hour, but it turned out to be a good time. And then I know the one in Nome, it was constantly raining. But we gave out some good prizes. I think most recently at the TEC meeting, I sit on the education and subcommittee meeting. And we're just accepting reports. We accepted the report from the education department. We're informed that we had an increase in funding in Indian Ed. So it went from $350 per pupil, and then it went up to $500 per pupil. So that's a really good thing that we accepted there. And then we also accepted the human service report, and then there was a I don't know, Portage's Health. They did a presentation, and they were talking about creating revenue streams to fund the cultural services. And then we also accepted the reports from the Chemical Dependency Division. I think the only discussion there was a possible increase in annual fee license renewals. Right now, I think the fee is at $50, and I think across the board it was like $500 for any other chemical dependency facility. But I think we talked about there was a discussion. There's nothing passed, but we're discussing raising that up to $250 just to be able to pay for gas and stuff for those folks that go out there and license the facility. And yeah, we attended all the graduations and District 2, and we had a lot of kids graduate this year. Let's see, and then we're rolling out the playgrounds in each community. So Monoman and Nato-Wash, they're going to be getting double basketball courts, and then a new playgrounds. And then we're rolling out the elder home repair program. So in District 2, we started on about half of the houses. So after this first round, the RBC is going to sit down and talk about possibly doing a second round and maybe even some annual funding towards this program, because it seems to be a really good program that very needed in all the districts. And then I've been working on the Nato-Wash complex. We have a really old camera system there, so we're looking at updating that. And then the Monoma Boys and Girls Club here, they're looking at opening their location over at Shopco sometime in November, I'm told. And I guess the last thing was the employee picnic. I didn't win the volleyball tournament this year. Mike Rock beat me, so.
He didn't play, but he did.
Yeah, he didn't play, but he got the most valuable player. But that's pretty much a summary of the last 3 months. And then I guess I'll turn it over to our District 3 representative, Annie Jackson.
No, this was our meeting, so it was there.
Big Witch, Eugene, and council. I guess the good thing about going last is that I can say ditto to everything the others said. Um, the Wisdom Step Conference, I just want to say a little bit about that. It was an awesome turnout. You know, Mille Lacs did back out at the last minute, but I mean, the elders that were there did an awesome job. And Tito, all your people on that committee, I want to say Chimi Gwitch. I did bid on a lot of stuff and I did spend a lot of money there. So it's like, and I just love everything that I was able to get on the bids. The elders meetings, I've been trying to attend all of them. It's always nice to hear the elders' points of view on everything because they are the ones who teach us. And I really take it to heart when I listen to all their problems and everything else. The Whiters powwow was great in June. It was a great turnout. And I'm happy that, you know, I want to say kudos to the powwow committee. We are, like everybody mentioned, you know, the playgrounds are coming. They did meetings yesterday with the community councils, and for White Earth, it was decided to have it where the old playground is. We're keeping the old basketball area there, and then we're gonna put the new basketball right next to it. We figured that, you know, the kids could use the cement there to draw with chalk, or, you know, if the bigger ones are used, the adults are using the big basketball thing, that our youth can use the little basketball thing. The MCT meeting went well. I sit on the finance committee, which you know, we usually approve the home loans and stuff like that. One thing that was brought up is to see if we can get our percentage rate back down to 3%, but that's going to be work in progress. But it'll be a plus for all the members on the MCT because, you know, interest rates for home buying now is on the rise, and if we can do that, I mean, it would be really good for our, you know, our members and all members across the MCT. We will be meeting with Elbow Lake on August 2nd. It was a consensus of the whole tribal council to go ahead and move forward with the grant for a new community center out there. That will be held August 2nd at 5:30 at the ENP Community Center in Elbow Lake. I'm hoping all Elbow Lake community members show up. We will also, childcare will be there with 100 backpacks for children 12 and under to give out at this meeting. As stated, the elder home repairs has finally started. We are working hard to get our contractors out there, so please be patient with us, and I'm still waiting to hear a few more details on it before I can actually start the bigger stuff, but we are getting them out there for the smaller stuff right now. And we are focusing on, you know, getting them ready for winter right now. So roofs, doors, windows, stuff like that need to be done. Some upcoming stuff, the Sturgeon Moon Powwow is this weekend. At the White Earth Powwow grounds. It sounds like it's going to be a great turnout. I just want to say chimigwich to the White Earth Community Council on going forward with this. It was kind of a last minute thing, but they're doing a great job at throwing it together. Excuse me. Childcare will be having backpack giveaways for children 12 and under. Pine Point is going to be located at the powwow grounds on August 10th from 5 to 7 p.m. The White Earth one will be at the community center August 24th from 5 to 7 p.m. The Pine Point Derby is coming up August 11th. Powwow, it will be on the 12th and 13th. And remember, this is the home of the big spot dance. I've tried several times to win a spot dance out there, but I was never successful. The CSO's picnics, behavioral health CSO's community picnics, Elbow Lakes will be August 3rd at 4 p.m. in the picnic shelter. Pine Point will be at the powwow grounds at 4 on August 10th. I hope to see a lot of people there too, because they do give out great prizes. I mean, elders, I hope you all can join. bring your grandkids. I mean, everybody, because, there are some great prizes that are given out. And I want to send my condolences to all that have lost loved ones in these past few months. It's really hard. I myself lost my granddaughter, but it's really hard to focus when you lose somebody you love. But just know that I'm praying for everybody, and I hope we can all find the strength to move forward. I also want to say Chimigwich to all the community councils again and all our members that step up for our communities. And that goes for the elders too. It's, I guess we don't thank them enough, but they do a lot too for our elders in all of our communities. And with that being said, I'm sorry I'm not there. I'm sick. I had a coughing fit yesterday and had to leave, and it's still not any better. But I will be on this meeting throughout. So, Chimigwich to you all.
Chairman, I have another page full of updates, so. No, I'd just like to add to one of my reports is that I'd like to give a shout out to Chimigwich to Sue Heisler's program for the new childcare building in White Earth. She really went above and beyond for the funding for that building. I know we were gonna put some ARPA money in there, and she found some money that was that she could use for it, so she saved a lot there on some of our ARPA on our general fund money. So I just want to give a big Chimigwich out to her program on the childcare.
Doing the playgrounds too.
And she's also doing the playgrounds too. So, and I wanted to mention one other thing is, I know Tracy just sent me an email on it. We're going to be making, and I talked to Tito a little bit on a sidebar conversation, is that we're going to be making the last payment on the congregate housing, and our loan will be paid off there. So that opens a lot of doors for us. And I just want the, I want the elders' input on how we're going to move forward with that, because I know we were always, the regulation was always you had to be 62 and older or else have, disability. But now we can maybe open the door to go to, 55 and older. But we want your guys' recommendations also with the elders, the commission, and week. So other than that, my financial report will be in the paper and will be online, so you guys can look at it there. So meet with you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, next up on the agenda is Elders Council. You got a mic, Tito?
Two of them,
Turn it on.
the mic. And the mic.
Hold it down.
There. Testing.
There you go.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us. We have our executive board here with us. So Sam is our vice chair, Missy is our secretary, and Colleen is our treasurer. We always like to have our, a majority of our executive board here so that they can also give input. We had a lot of things that we were involved with over the past quarter. It's been really busy. We continuously receive calls and we're available. We put our name in the paper with our numbers so that people can reach us. Also, we put the dates of our meetings in the paper. So I hear a lot about, I didn't know when your meeting was. It's in the paper. And it's every first Tuesday of the month. You'll have to look in the paper to find out where the meeting's at, because we rotate them around the reservation so that people can meet with us from their particular communities. There were so many things going on over the summer here with meetings. Mike mentioned the congregate housing. It sounds to me from hearing from the residents that it's a lot better up there, a lot quieter, and security is much better. so they feel a little safer. We're just waiting for the elder nutrition kitchen to be open, because a lot of people come up there and eat and relax and socialize. That's one of the important things we try to get done for our people. There we share information also about events that are going on, and we post them and have them distributed through the elder nutrition programs. One of the things recently, which we had was, in fact, yesterday, a group of 8 elders, but 9 with the driver, went to Red Lake, to the health fair up there. And they had a really good time. They met with people we know from previous times we've gone up there. They always try to send out an invite to us. And we did mention this at our last meeting. It was Thursday, July 27th. It was called a Community Health Day. But they have booths, and they have you go around to earn a t-shirt, I guess it is. But you have to visit the booths. So that's important. And they have little gifts, and a meal was served for the elders. I'm just going to go through some of these things. We also, with Wisdom Step Conference, I want to thank the council for being supportive to us. That was a big project, but there were some glitches and we worked through them. And I hope that we can bring it back to the shooting star. It generates not just money for back to our community, but also the relationships we have with other tribes throughout Minnesota. Wisdom Steps is a preventive health program for elders that are 55 and up in the state of Minnesota. July 11th, we had our regular meeting at Pine Point. It was unfortunately the same day that we were invited to the opening of the clinic at Natawash. I'm sorry we missed that, but we couldn't hustle our people to go up to that opening and then get them back all the way up to Pine Point. It would have been too much of an ordeal. We did a lot of discussions again at our meeting. We talked about so many issues that are facing our elders today. And I'm going to ask the council, I believe you've seen the 2 resolutions that we proposed for the NICOA conference. One year, we were the only tribe that proposed resolutions. So I want to make sure that these resolutions get through, because today is the last day to send them. And Laura Lee was supposed to be here to give them to you to try to.
Consent agenda.
I have.
In the consent agenda.
I have they're pertaining to the concerns we have about health disparities. And a lot of the disparities we're talking about is contributing to overall lower quality of life and premature death rates among Native Americans. it includes a lot of lack of healthcare issues. We will be talking about those as we caucus for Regional 3 in, when we go to the meeting at Cherokee, North Carolina in September. So, you know, these are important issues. There's many people from Indian Health Service will be there. They usually have their director for the program. And we will be taking several issues, go through them, and then they're presented to the larger committee. And if, you know, depending on what everybody accepts at the caucus meetings, it's proposed during that big, larger meeting for all of us, and then they take them to the government, our legislation and so forth. But this is an important part of our trip to North Carolina. It isn't to go there just to be a trip. We go there to try to improve conditions for our elders. We also had a second resolution which involved housing disparities, that our programs are not funded enough, and the tribe I know has discussed homelessness so many times here and done a lot with that, but there's still disparities in existing homes that are in poor condition or no condition at all, shouldn't even be lived in, many of them. But those are two of the resolutions that we're bringing to the conference.
Want to be our Michael?
So I would ask the council to support these, and so we can get them off today.
They're on the consent agenda. We'll sign off on them today.
Thank you. Okay, I'll continue on then. If you want minutes from the regular meeting at Pine Point, Missy will have those available. So you can get them through her.
See, do you put them in the paper?
No, they're usually lengthy, so if they want a copy, we bought her a printer so she can print out minutes, but they have to come by request.
And if you think I can talk, Missy can out-talk me.
Well, she will give you a copy if you request them. So they're there always.
Yeah, I haven't got,
Minutes and our financial report.
right, I haven't got the approval to put it in the paper.
Yeah.
So,
Did you talk to Gary?
Okay, and then our financial report, we always propose that too. And everybody thinks we have a lot of money because we set aside a certain amount of money to be available to those of us that are traveling to North Carolina. These are set aside monies that for people that have earned their way there.
right after.
We don't just pick and choose. It's people that have earned their way. I want to say that I was impressed with Powell this year. And from people I talked to, many were happy to see Vince Bile back there because he gives such a good explanation of everything. And I hope that we can get him back again. He's one of our own. We earned, and we do fundraising, as we've always done, at our powwow, and it was hard work, believe me. We earned about $1,500 there with raffles, 50-50 raffles, our food, and What else was there?
We had, all prizes.
And all the prizes were donated by many of us, our own members, as well as some others. Trying to distribute all those prizes. Thank God most of them were there, but I did find all but one. And I've still been waiting for somebody to pick that up. We had our elder picnic on June 29th, and that was a good picnic. All of the tribal council was there. That was good to see. And we were happy the tribal council was at the Wisdom Step meeting too. That was our conference. That was impressive to most people. On July 15th, we quickly put together, decorated the elder car and entered the parade, and we won 3rd place. Anyway, it's kind of fun. So we do other things in the community too. We enjoy throwing out the candy to the young people. I wish we had more funding to do other things rather than candy. I don't like, necessarily throwing candy, but that's the cheapest for us too. The roundhouse, I talked with Mike Heisler a little bit about that. And we're trying to get that improved. It's been a real mess down there, but hopefully I think are there cameras yet? Mike?
No, I'll touch on it on my report.
Okay, we do need the cameras there. Let's see what else. There was another, I had made the request. Okay.
Your request?
Yeah, they addressed those.
Mike had a question.
Oh, the Mike Larock, I must ask you again. Next year for our powwow, he was gonna
I'm sorry.
get the building going.
You better start now.
Yeah. Because at the last minute, we were hustling to find cover.
All for the power.
So I would appreciate if you'd follow through on that. You knew I was gonna get you on that.
Waiting for that one.
I'm waiting, haven't heard any more on tiny homes. That was one of the things we talked about for elders many times, and that kind of got pushed away for a while. So
Tito.
I'd like to know what's happening with that.
With over in Henry's, in District 1, they're doing I don't know if you'd really call that tiny homes, an elder village over there. And could it be kind of like, I don't know if it's the pilot project or whatever, but we've been invited to go out to Seattle, me and the chairman, to meet with a tribe out there that has a good program for elder tiny homes and homeless tiny homes and stuff like that. So we're going to be going out there probably middle of this month, kind of research it. We were supposed to go last month to be able to go and tour these villages that they have. There's a tribe out in Seattle that's very successful with it. So right now it's kind of in that stage where District 1 is actually, we're waiting on some funding, or we're waiting on some funding. If it doesn't come through, we already have funding to start that project in Rice Lake and to put some tiny homes there for the elders. So, and that's the start of it. That's about as much as the update as we could that we have on it. I know it's not much, but it's been trying. It says in Henry, I don't know if I want to give Henry the microphone, but it's been trying for Henry because he's not happy with it at all because we haven't been able to get where we want to be with it. So the other portion of it is that we understand that each district rep has elders out there that are in need of housing. Definitely in need of housing. We have some challenges with that, and we've also had some remedies on it too that you guys don't know about, but that we can't really talk about right now, but it's still on our radar, Tito.
And that's one of the things we, with housing, is because of the critical need with folks. You know, it's hard for elders to do any kind of repairs when they live on a limited budget. And I know they're always referred out to other programs, but there's a lot of things too with the programs. And when it comes to you're eligible, but, and they have all these things that if you have done something and you're not going to meet those needs, you know, there's all these things that confront us when we try to apply for programs. So, you know, you have people out there that are supposed to be available to us to help and assist. We would like to see managers of the programs come to our meetings so that we can share ideas and information and how we can better serve our community of elders. So, you know, I probably have asked a lot, but, you know, it's elders, and one day you guys are going to be there hoping and trying for the same thing. When you get to be our age and issues come up like this, it's very difficult. I'll just give you an example, and it's right from my own issue. My sewer system backed up on Wednesday. So I got a complete mess in my whole house. I tried to get some help. I was able to borrow one of those floor dryers from Water and Sewer to try to dry out some of that, the water that was throughout my house. And it's a complete mess. But aside from that, I'm talking about these are some of the issues elders have when they have their own homes. And they don't meet the criteria. They're not living in your housing that goes through HUD. You know, so we have problems like that as an example. Same thing with Sam. He's trying to get some help. You're trying to help him with a house, I understand. And then he's trying to get to Mahubi to ask for help in some other way. But they had all these restrictions too. And maybe I'll ask Sam to touch on that a little bit. Sam, you were going to talk about those restrictions.
I guess I sat in on a meeting that I waited a couple, 2-3 hours for a couple weeks ago. And I think there was a couple members there that said by the end of July. I wouldn't happen to know. I think the date's 28. You got, what, 3 days now? So that's why you don't make promises, because time always catches up with you. And I'm not going to hold you to that promise that you guys would start to have it at least started by then. So moving that building. But I went to 4 different places in Detroit Lakes yesterday to get help for you guys, you know, in case the funds that aren't enough to do what we need to do with that building. And every one of them, you know, push me off on somebody else. The USDA, they give you a packet that's about 20 pages long. Well, all you got to do, if you're native, is read the last page. Exhibit 4.4, indicators of unacceptable credit. And that's about 20 things that most elders and native people couldn't. All you need is one to keep you from getting a loan, and there's at least 20 here. Most native people would probably not pass 6 of them. So that's, you know, that's something we should look into too. Is the USDA comes and they make promises that, oh yeah, you can get a $10,000 loan, you don't have to pay it back. But what they don't tell you is, if you're rich or white, you can get it. If you're not, don't even apply. And I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. And I think a lot of people will agree with me on that have tried to get that loan. Otherwise, it's been going pretty good. Mike and I have been working on it. We're getting close to getting something done. And I'm trying to get some help for you guys that, you know, when we do get started. But like I say, we're running out of time again and stuff. So I don't know if you guys want to comment on that or not. If you got any new, I know we talked about you had to switch movers and things like that and stuff. But I still, you know, all I did is I got 4 loads of gravel sitting in my yard taking up space that I don't really need for, looks like, for right now. So thank you.
You know, there's so many issues like that we get calls on constantly, and we just hope that maybe if we can go to the NICOE conference and address some of those also individually, that the people there can take them to the ones that are in the government infrastructure and get maybe, you know, listen to some of those issues. There's a loud voice in that NICOE. So it's all over the United States and Alaska, you know. So we just encourage you to, and thank you for your signing off on both of the resolutions that we're taking.
Tino, I just want to make a quick comment to Sam's statement. When I did talk earlier, I talked about something that I said we haven't released yet, but what Sam's talking about is we're finding buildings that we own and houses that we own that we're repurposing them to needy elders. That's the program that we're talking about. I can't go into real detail on it, but that's part of the program. The district reps, and then the 3 district reps and the chairman and myself, we've all taken a look at some of our houses that we have that are vacant, that can be moved, and, you know, some trailer houses that we have in areas that can be moved for elders in need. So that's one of the programs that Sam is talking about. So I just want to make a quick comment on that, but we are working on that. So, and we're letting the district reps actually identify the ones in each one of their districts. And when you talk about the elder homeowner construction, what they talked about in their reports, we did, the previous council put like $1 million towards, they put 300,000 towards small repairs, and they put 700,000 towards larger repairs. We've had a lot of challenges with that, with contractors. We have a lot of challenges with material being higher than what it, and some of our, and we are getting better at it to get that out there. So we're trying to get to them. We're looking at maybe reallocating some more money into this program. So the ones that we missed, the ones that fell through the cracks, we would be able to help. And we want to always stress that it's always going to be a need, not want. And that's what we've been kind of running into. So when we have so many elders in need, so that's one of the things we talk about. So I just want to make a quick comment on that.
Okay, and that's one of the things we'll be addressing too at NICOE, as well as our health disparities. I just want to make a comment with that too. With the descendancy, we have no big issue about their descendants being coming into the clinic and receiving services. However, so many descendants of descendants are coming into the clinic, and the clinics are funded at the lowest rate ever. And, you know, still at probably, what, 40% level, and with the government, they still fund at the enrolled membership. So, you know, when elders are missing out on referrals to other facilities that when they need it, other specialists, so that when they do finally go to the clinic or to their providers, they're like in level 4 cancerous conditions. And then, you know, there's no hope for them anymore. So we've got to do something about this. And I know with the constitutional reform, we're trying to address those issues about descendancy. I personally don't trust the federal government. And even though I worked for them at one time, I don't trust them in that they won't, if we went to a no or a full blood quantum, you know, that they can just say eventually, the hell with them. Anybody can be Indian now. We've got to find a way, and I know that's a lot of discussion that needs to take place. We need to keep that blood quantum that they pushed on us, even if it's an 8, to keep the federal government responsible. So this is one of the concerns we have with the new constitution that's being worked on. We have to have a whole lot more discussion with that. So I believe I'll leave it at that for right now. We will be trying to attend all those meetings that are set up with constitutional reform, because we need to make our fears known. Because I again don't trust the federal government.
I believe we discussed that, Mike, you and I and Colleen and Missy the other day. You know, when we talk about housing, that's going to affect, you know, if you enroll 200,000 more people, if you got a housing shortage now, it's really going to be a bad one if you enroll that many more people.
Yep.
I think we discussed that at that meeting the other day.
Yeah, we did.
That's something that we just have to do more discussion with our delegates, and they know this. We went to the delegate meeting on the 20th, but I don't really think anything was accomplished there. They met with, as their shooting, or White Earth was hosting the meeting. I don't see that anything was really developed, especially when we weren't able to do the input we should have been able to do. That's why I'm asking that each delegate hold meetings in their district so that we can do the discussion that's needed before we, you know, apply it to a new constitution. Thank you.
Thanks, Tito.
Thank you, Elders Council. We'll do the Elders Commission next, but after that, we'll go into a break. So is Pam here?
Should be a short one.
Thank you very much. That was really informative and we are really, I'm Pam Aspinwall with the White Elders Commission and we'll be attending our first convention and look forward to learning from our co-workers here, our people and other nationwide. Our mission is to advise and make recommendations to the Tribal Council on Elder Services and that are already in place and those that maybe are new services or different services that we can find that we trust with people. But I'm just going to go through quickly, not going to take a lot of time, but to let you know that we do have our District 2 vacancy election coming up. We have finally gotten all of our candidates, 5 of them, to backgrounds and going through that and have rescheduled our election for August 8th. I'm going to speak with Tara and she's going to get that posted for us over there. We're going to have that election in 2 locations. We're going to have it out in Natawash from noon to 3 and then move over to Monoman from 4 to 7 so that we can all work it and hopefully be able to follow the simple plan that the White Earth constitutional delegates used. The other thing is, I'm just going to go down my list. I met with Monty Bellinger, and what we're doing is we're working on what I call a drop down or a tab that would list basic information for our elders to read their resources. So one stop. It's not going to be like providing all the applications or go into a great detail, but hopefully just briefly describe a service and who and how to contact. We had a guest at our July business meeting who asked about if there was any plans to use this large barn out at the ranch. She thought it would be an excellent reverberation, or no, that's not the right word, but to remake it, to renovate it, or use for elders in some way. But I don't know, anything about that. But I told her I would ask the tribal council if they have any plans for that. Do you know about that building that she's talking about? It's a big barn.
I think it's not owned by the tribe, it's owned by someone else.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we were just talking about that, the big barn building over at Western Ranch.
No, those are ours.
No, that's owned by
Yeah,
water.
but
It's owned by, what's it?
No.
Waste.
Waste. Mike Bevan's program.
Yeah, transfer station.
Transfer
Sounds like a
station.
health hazard.
Transfer station owns it. We can look at good.
That old Gordon's old building? Gordon. Yeah. Yes, the Shavery Enterprises owns it.
Okay, we had a community member, an elder, who brought up the issue of Shooting Star employees who are elders who must take PTO to attend the elders picnic or the Christmas picnic. And so we were brainstorming about that. And I found out that we have about 10%. We have 54 to 59 enrolled elders at Shooting Star. And for any of the Shooting Star employees who are elders to attend the event, they must take PTO, and so it seems like it's inequitable. And so we were just brainstorming about some of the ideas of how to rectify that. So that in fact, that person, that elder who came to that picnic, she said she looked around and she did not see any other Shooting Star employees at the Elders picnic. So I would just say that, it's something that we can discuss further and maybe find a way to include the Shooting Star employees.
They have that culture time.
At the sound of COA.
Yeah, once every year we could plan for it.
There was one commissioner who asked about a playground over, I think, in the Pine Bend area. And so I'm going to just direct her again over to you.
Every user PTO.
Working on.
Was the same way.
Repairing and making sure that they're safe for the grandparents to bring their grandchildren over there. And we can, yeah.
You want to make a comment?
Yeah, we did talk about that the other day when the ladies came out for the playground and stuff there. And what we were gonna do was, that playground in front of the center was in pretty good shape. So we're gonna see if they could take that out, which kinda is right now. We as community members are gonna see what it takes to take it apart, because they said they will not do that, so. I mean, it's a little bit of work, but we're gonna figure it out and try to get that over the Pine Bend area, so.
It kind of ties into, when you were talking about housing and I was thinking about how many grandparents we have who are taking care of their grandchildren. We have a couple on the commission who are doing that, besides a couple who are still employed full-time. But anyway, the part that I was thinking about and that we've had some limited discussion about was intergenerational housing, which is kind of a little bit newer nationwide to think about. And because that is part of our tradition and part of the things that we do, to include the grandparents, the parents, and the children in a housing situation. And I know that you're, focused on individual and the elders, which is very important too, but for future consideration. District 2 Rep. Mr. Hayes had asked about how we could use the Shooting Star pool for exercise program for the elders. So I'm going to leave that up to him to pursue.
Okay.
And then we have some amendments to our bylaws that we will be bringing
Elders
forward.
Pool for exercise program.
We had some discussion with different tribal council members about this, and that is adding 1 or 2 commission members that would include the urban and or northeastern Minnesota to the White Earth Elders Commission. We'll do our best to prepare a proposal concerning that, and then we can go with that. The other thing is for us to assume responsibility of elections, and I don't know how that would work, but it's future discussion about what we can do about that. And then we have one more that we considered, and that is for those commission members who work for any White Earth entity to be able to take that time and for the commission work. Now, right now, I'm working upstairs, so I check with my boss and I can come down here and make this presentation. But when I go on property, it's a little bit different.
Leave your job.
So we're going to just see what we can do to propose to change that or to add it to the bylaws, because it's not in a bylaw. But it's just future consideration. And our last thing is that I've asked all of the commission members to provide a report on what they've been doing for this past year and that we will compile that and submit that to you. And it's going to work.
Rich, thank you for that. Okay, we're going a little break here, so 10 minutes.